I'm talking about Nigerian stock market. On the 1st of December, the market went on a rally that many have described as a red day on Nigerian stock market, with over 6 trillion naira, as part of what was recorded as a loss. But joining me via phone at this point in time is Ambrose Omordion, who will be explaining to us what really happened on the market. We recorded a red outing that showcased that it was a bearish outing on the market. And we also recall whereby some individual sectors were on the march for a better outing. Talking about the consumer goods were so bright on that day. Now also the service sector were also so bright on that day. And not to forget, the financial sector have been sitting highly placed on Nigerian stock market, making all the necessary transactions that is making the market so robust and so circulated. But here we are, 1st of December, it was a bearish outing with just 16 gainers and 26 losers. I'm talking about the market again with just 92 trillion naira just recorded. But here we are. The main point is that how did we get to the first day of the month in the month of December with a red outing? So Ambrose will be helping us unravel all the situation reports on the market at this point in time. Mr. Ambrose, very good to have you on the show.
Yeah, good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
All right, so I've told our viewers that the market went red on the 1st of December. So what really happened?
No, actually, the first trading day of the month is not a determinant of how the month will go or the way to go. It is just market sentiment any day, any time. It is not only Nigerian market that we saw a pullback yesterday. We saw Nigerian market joining catapult across the globe. But the good thing is that the month of November for those markets matured close positive, while our market closed in the red. That is creating opportunity for Nigeria players. But the major factors today that the market is still in this mode is that clarity has not come from government fiscal policy reform or whatever they call it. In an environment where you are increasing tax from almost 10% capital gain tax to 30%, a lot of market players, individual investors, foreign and local, are concerned that there's no clarity on how to move from 30 to from 10 to 30. That's about 300% growth in an economy where there's a lot of headwinds here and there. It's just recently without seeing a recovery. For me, market is still factoring that in. But the only good news in the market today is that the companies that are listed on the exchange are still posting positive and strong numbers that will support their price. And also, the economy is still recovering. Economy is not really have entered expansion because we know that in Nigeria economy we have recorded 6.8 GDP before now. But as to speak, that the market is recovering, I don't expect that government that really want to raise funds from this economy will burst the bubble or kind of the positive sentiment we are seeing in the market. It is time that the government also have to rethink and apply another way of raising funds for the economy. If that's what I see here. Yeah.
Interesting. But let's quickly take a look at the section by section of what really happened on the market. The consumer goods came with a promising end, but at the end of the day, they were the one that do the pullback. But what do you make of that pullback coming from the consumer goods stock?
Consumer goods stock, for me, it's part of the market that profit taking is part of market dynamics. If you are seeing consumer goods coming down, for me, it's not that the sector is not attractive as to speak right now. It shows that that investors are taking a gain from their position, and which also is a pointer that the sector have also performed year to date. For me, that's not the kind. But I told you earlier that the first day of the week or the month is not determining what the month or the week will look like. And also because the market also free entry and free exit and profit taking is part of market dynamics, I see that investors are taking advantage of that to take profit. That's what I see here.
Interesting. And we also see that some individual companies were out there to do some, will I say, damage control or whatever. International bureaus, what do you make of them? International bureaus coming on the floor also to show some skills and some mechanism on their stock price.
Yeah. I didn't fight them because when I say mechanism, I don't understand the meaning of mechanism. If they are coming to through fight them, so that they want to let investors know the position of the company, That shows that they are presenting their fact to show that the factors behind the numbers, the business model, what has supported their numbers to the guys, so they're going to explain to the investing public. That's also part of what transparency in any organization. For me, it's a good one. But I say that sector has suffered because of exchange education before now. But now we're seeing relatively stability. That's also impacting that sector. We're seeing most of the companies in the consumer goods has performed well in terms of numbers. And also, we're seeing that their negative position has come from because of all exchanges have made a bit level. They cannot plan effectively as a company. Because exchanges have made, they cannot plan and forecast where they are going. And also, good news for that sector that because of the Africa trade zone that have kind of easy for them to move their goods from Nigeria to go and sell in other African countries, and $10 is a plus for those sectors.
Interesting. But let's take a look at the insurance sector. As if the insurance came with a cautionary move when they were on the market yesterday. But take us from what really happened to the insurance equity on the market.
No, it knows that in Nigeria, the perception and also our attitude to insurance is still very, very low. And also the insurance operators also have not really packaged insurance to make it attractive for the public. The population of more than 200 million in Nigeria, insurance will be one of the backbone of this economy if they have really show transparency level to encourage people to do insurance. But today, there are some insurance that are compulsory, that yes, government either want to support the insurance sector. But I believe that with the new act of insurance sector, they become bigger and stronger to carry bigger risk. That's also going to improve that sector and provide more liquidity for them. Why I say so? Because insurance, for me, I call it a free source of funds because it's a pool of risk. Another pool of risk, if for example you're having 1 million people that are paid for particularly, it's not that 1 million people also have a claim. For me, that's why it's a pool of funds. But if they are well structured with this capitalization, at least they're going to support the market and also they're going to make money. That means any pullback insurance company is an opportunity for the investor to buy into leaders in that industry, and also those small ones that has potential to grow. So that the opportunities are thinking medium and long to look the way of insurance company.
Interesting. But on the large scale company, big company like Dangote, MTN, Nestle Nigeria, we saw them playing big on the market in recent time. But what do you make of all their activities? Although for Dangote it has become a very familiar terrain that just a week ago we saw it a commercial paper of over 100 billion out there. But what do you make of all these big scale names that are making impact from MTN to Nestle to Dangote Sugar and the rest of them?
No, it's not only in Nigeria. In any market of the world, you have the high price stock, you have the movers and the shakers. That's why today in market economics, I see that all these big tech companies like Nvidia, others ones, and won't make any part making waves. In Nigeria, we also have those high cap stocks that are also supporting the market to maintain its position. The life of MTN, you don't mention, Dangote, Boa, Presto, Kokomu, the life of Ether. For me, it's a good one. But investors should know reasons of why they are buying to those high cap stocks. Is it as defensive stock? It's because in Nigeria, because of some regulatory move, most of these high cap stocks also help investors to manage their position. Because you need about 100,000 units of shares to change the price of those high cap stocks. And also, times if you're in that, also help you to manage your risk, because most times their price remains a bit stable. But it's good for the market. We need more of this market. That is why those that are preparing for 2026 should start positioning in those cycles, because as we expect that Nigerian market cap at total size almost around 100 trillion before pulling back to around the 96 trillion. But every year by next year, we're already seeing many analysts forecasting are going to have 200 trillion naira market cap, 250 trillion market cap next year. It's because of we're expecting that big shorts are coming to the list in the market, and that will be a boost for the market for Nigeria. That's why I said what we are seeing this season, this December or last month, is because of clarity in our policy is part of what is kind of destroying or pulling down sentiment or confidence in the economy. I believe that our economic managers should go back and think their strategies and become direct in their policy, because I tell you that clarity is king in any policy formulation or implementation or strategy. That means if you want to bring reform in the physical sector, we need to let the public know, because with tax economic activities, there is no tax. If you want to tax people in capital market, if there's no gain, what is to tax? Already, you're only taxing them 10% of withholding tax in terms of their dividend. then capital gain again. I mean, are you multiple taxing them? No, I think this is the area that we look at it. Because if I'm paying tax for my dividend, I'm also paying tax for capital gain, it's back towards multiple tax. I think clarity has to come so that the government and his economic managers will to give protection so that this economic recovery will be sustained. One thing that when economic don't easily boost your economic recovery, because last time also that rate was remain unchanged at 27. Cost of funding in Nigeria is high. Even when you are trying to attract foreign inflow to sustain your exchange rate on the detriment of your economy, if you want Nigeria to create employment for people, you need to bring cost of funds cheaper so that it can drive a lot of activities, and that also oil the economy at the end of the day.
We saw the Taiwan Bank, before I let you go, Ambrose, the Taiwan Bank were led by UBA with a 1.5% aspect of growing, advancing in their rate. But what do you make of the rest of the Taiwan Bank, although UBA was found to be exploring in a better shape on the market?
No, for me, the Tier 1 banks in Nigeria are not doing badly. Their numbers are strong, apart from the forbearance issue with the CBN that made most of them to pay low interest dividend. If by before the end of the year, they're able to clear from CBN their position, and those that are going to apply is those that are also having a holdco structure. Today, I think that Zenith Bank is still operating as a bank, not a holding structure. UBA is also operating as a bank, not a holding structure. For the one that are operating like Stanbic, like GT Code, like Access Bank, and the STMB, they might have because to do more so that the CBN can allow them to pay dividend at the end of the year. But for others that are not good, I think that's why today Zenith Bank has had a lot of volume there. People already said that because they have cleared their forbearance issue with CBN in their half year and third quarter, they are likely to pay dividend at the end of the day.
Interesting. Ambrose, thank you so much for coming on the issue and with your clarity on what the first day of the market did turn out to. Although a red one, but we're expecting a more green and bullish outing on the market in the month of December. So thank you so much for coming on the show, sir.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Right. So do enjoy the rest of your day. I've been speaking with Ambrose Omordion, who happens to be the Chief Operating Officer of Investdata Consulting Ltd, also one of the players on the Nigerian stock market. And for him, the first day, although disappointing, but there are better days ahead on the Nigerian stock market. We have come to the end of today's show on the market report, but our next edition will come with a more interesting and more fact-finding discussion as we continue our series of Nigerian economy review for 2025. My name is Adefolayan Alamekon. Till we see you again. Bye for now.